wants you to wait with the...
When you're called on to speak, you remain seated.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Trustees to order. And I would like to announce that we will be going into a brief executive session at the conclusion of our the first part of our public meeting, and after that we will reconvene for a brief second public session. I want to read the following notice. The meetings of the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York are open to the public, and the Board welcomes the interest of those who attend. The public has ample opportunity to communicate with the Board. Public hearings on the Board's policy calendar are scheduled 1 week prior to the Board's regular meetings. Members of the public who wish to communicate with the Board are invited to express their views at such public hearings. Furthermore, the Board holds additional public hearings each year in all of the 5 boroughs at which members of the public may also speak. In addition, written communications to the Board are distributed to all trustees. The Board must carry out the functions assigned to it by law and therefore cannot tolerate conduct by members of the public that disrupts its meetings. In the event of disruptions, including noise, which interferes with Board discussion, after appropriate warnings, I will ask the security staff to remove persons engaging in disruptive conduct. The university may seek disciplinary and/or criminal sanctions against persons who engage in conduct that violates the university's rules or state laws which prohibit interference with the work of public bodies. I would like now to request that everybody take a moment to turn off his or her cell phone. As usual, CUNY TV is making available an important community service by transmitting the public sessions of this afternoon's meeting of the Board of Trustees live on cable channel 75. The meeting is also being webcast live and can be accessed by going to www.cuny.edu. The public session of the Board meeting will also be available as a podcast and can be accessed via the CUNY website. On behalf of my fellow board members, I would like to express our condolences to the family and friends of former trustee Dr. Thomas Tam, who passed away on February 27, 2008. Dr. Tam served the university with great distinction from 1989 to 1996. Dr. Tam led efforts to establish the first Asian American Higher Education Council and the Asian American Asian Research Institute at CUNY. He was a longtime friend and colleague of Trustee Wellington Chen. Chancellor Goldstein is working with President Meiskens and President William Kelly on the establishment of a Thomas Tam Professorship in Asian and Asian American Studies. Dr. Tam's legacy will long endure at CUNY, and we mourn his loss. Could I have a moment of silence, please, in Dr. Tam's memory? On another sad note, President Dolores Fernandez's father-in-law passed away recently in Spain. On behalf of all my fellow board members, I would like to express our condolences to President Fernandez and her family. On a happy note, we've just heard that Trustee Robert Ramos and his wife are the proud parents of a new baby boy. Congratulations. I'd like to report that the Board held its Staten Island Borough hearing on Monday, March 17, 2008 at the College of Staten Island. The hearing was chaired by Trustee Kathleen Pasilli and attended by Trustees Rita DiMartino, Robert Ramos, and Manfred Phillip, members of the Chancellery, and President Tomas Morales. The Board also held its Queens Borough hearing, together with the regular Board public hearing on the April 2008 calendar on Monday, April 14, 2008 at Queens Borough Hall. The hearings were chaired by Vice Chair Philip Berry and attended by Trustee Wellington Chen, Mark Shaw, and Manfred Phillip. Chancellor Goldstein, members of the Chancellery, and CUNY College presidents in Queens also attended. Summaries of both proceedings have been circulated to the trustees and the Chancellor's Cabinet, and transcripts are available in the Office of the Secretary. Please note that the next Trustees Borough hearing will take place in the Bronx at the Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation on Monday, June 16, 2008. I'd like to thank Trustee Kathleen Pasilli for representing the university for the 10th year in a row at the 20th anniversary of the CUNY Big Apple Job Fair. Former Board Vice Chair Edith Everett received the CUNY Big Apple Award for her dedication and numerous contributions to our students. Over 100 employers participated in this event. Now I have the special pleasure of welcoming John Jay College of Criminal Justice Professor of English, John Madison, who recently won the 2008 Pulitzer Prize in Biography in recognition of his book, Eden's Outcasts, the story of Louisa May Alcott and her father. Professor Madison is with us today, so we can formally express to him our warmest congratulations on this outstanding achievement. May I call on President Jeremy Travis for an introduction, and then we'd like to hear a few words from Professor Madison.
Thank you very much, Chairman Schmidt, Chancellor Goldstein, members of the Board of Trustees. It is with great pride that I introduce to you John Madison, a member of the English faculty at John Jay College. John came to John Jay College a short decade ago after earning his law degree from Harvard, practicing law for 5 years, and then earning his doctorate in English at Columbia. He's been a valued member of our community, teaching widely in literature in the law, legal writing, most recently in John Jay's honors program, while also serving in the faculty senate. He loves the classroom and is known to be a teacher's teacher. John has demonstrated substantial scholarly accomplishments over that decade, culminating in this, his first book, Eden's Outcasts, the story of Louisa May Alcott and her father. Even before winning the Pulitzer Prize, Eden's Outcasts was enthusiastically reviewed by newspapers around the country and abroad, and was chosen as one of 2007's best biographies by the Christian Science Monitor and the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. And now his book has won the Pulitzer, making John the second of our faculty to win that honor, in addition to Mike Wallace, who won the Pulitzer for History in 1999. When the Pulitzer Prize was announced, coincidentally, during Chancellor Goldstein's visit to John Jay, true, the faculty in the room broke into applause, both for the honor bestowed on the college, but mostly out of affection for John Madison. Few people are both so accomplished and so modest. So this is a great day for John Jay. This is a day when we seek approval of an English major at John Jay for the first time since 1976, and seek approval for the first of many 2+2 joint degree programs with community colleges at CUNY, and seek approval for our first faculty-led study abroad programs. Celebrating the accomplishments of our Pulitzer Prize-winning colleague, John Madison, is icing on a very rich cake.
Thank you very much, Professor Madison.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you, President Travis, for that wonderful introduction. Chancellor Goldstein, Chairman Schmidt, members of the board, honored guests. On April 7th, when people started asking me what it was like to win a Pulitzer Prize, my first response was admittedly plagiaristic. I quoted the words of my first literary idol, John Steinbeck, who, when asked a similar question about having won the Nobel Prize, responded that he felt wrapped and shellacked. He later explained that he was referring to what people used to do to cracked fish bowls. He meant that he didn't feel very real. And indeed, real is the last thing that one is likely to feel when one has just won a higher honor than he has ever imagined winning. One that could as easily have gone to many other writers who worked longer and perhaps indeed better without comparable recognition. Elated, yes. Flattered, certainly. But real? I didn't feel real for several days. But now that I've had some time to think of my own comparisons, I think of the feeling can best be likened to that of having one's first child. One feels the joyous awareness that something miraculous has happened. One senses clearly that one's life has changed irrevocably, and one has not the faintest idea what to do next. The comparison with becoming a parent is not only a good emotional approximation, it also fits my circumstances in other ways. The most important of these is that the book that earned me the Pulitzer would not have been written had it not been for my daughter, Rebecca, who coincidentally was born at Roosevelt Hospital across the street from John Jay, at a time when I was too caught up in the new sensations of daddyhood even to be aware that there was a college on the other side of 10th Avenue. I wrote Eden's Outcast the way I did because I had a suspicion that writing a dual biography about a father and daughter would help me to become a better parent. At the same time, I hoped that my life as a father would strengthen my ability to understand the complex system of attraction and conflict that drove Bronson Alcott and his more famous daughter, Louisa May, both together and apart. In writing this book, I encountered a host of remarkable mentors and friends, but none so important as the smart, loving girl named Rebecca, who unconsciously showed me the way. Writing this book has also raised me to new professional insights, because Bronson Alcott was, at the core of his being, a teacher, even though scandal drove him from the teaching profession at an early age. In studying how Bronson Alcott taught, I have learned some vital lessons about how to conduct myself in the profession that he justly regarded as the greatest of all human occupations. Here are a handful of the 58 maxims that Alcott created as a standard for judging himself in the classroom. I think you'll agree that adhering to these would make a pretty good teacher. First, to teach nothing merely from subservience to custom. Next, to teach by encouragement. To teach by keeping curiosity awake. To teach by persuasion, not coercion. To teach, endeavoring to make pupils feel their importance by the prophetic hope placed in their conduct. Finally, to teach pupils to teach themselves. In short, Bronson Alcott reminded me that the work that I do as a teacher, the work that we together do as a university, is and ought to be a sacred task, one that not only enriches minds but restores and cultivates spirits. In a world that too often rewards the pursuit of self-interest, teaching gives us a glorious opportunity to be generous. In a society in which we struggle too often to be one another's masters, it gives us the dignified and honorable opportunity to serve. Bronson Alcott knew, as I hope we may continually remember, that to teach is to express and experience love. Today's Board of Trustees meeting marks a red-letter day in the history of John Jay College, and certainly not because I happen to be sitting here. It is because today, after more than 30 years as a service department, the English department of John Jay College now again will have a major. The time and retirement have reduced to a handful the number of professors in our department who can remember when the last graduate of our English department walked across the stage at commencement. That student, whoever he or she may be, is several years older than I am now. But for those who have looked forward to this day since the mid-'70s, and for those of us for whom the dream has been a cherished one for shorter time, but with no less sincerity, it has been well worth the wait, and I thank you for this day. The message that I bear to the CUNY Board of Trustees is indeed one of thanks, but also one of high expectation for the future of humanities education at John Jay College. If my understanding is correct, there are currently 4 writers at CUNY who have won the Pulitzer Prize. Half of them are on the faculty of John Jay, where neither of them has, for more than 30 years, had the pleasure of teaching a student at the college majoring in his discipline. I hope for the board to realize that Mike Wallace and I, with our glittering prizes, are merely 2 representatives of an outstanding humanities faculty at John Jay, that, despite its relative obscurity in the CUNY system, is a vast reservoir of scholarly talent and professional dedication. I sometimes say that joining the John Jay faculty in 1997 was like buying Intel at $2 a share. John Jay's stock has risen impressively, and so too have the hopes and aspirations of everyone connected with the college. With the guidance of President Travis and Provost Bowers, John Jay stands on the threshold of a golden age. Let us all do whatever we can to bring that age into being. Daniel Webster, in arguing a case before the United States Supreme Court, once said of his alma mater, Dartmouth College, "She is a small college, sir, but there are those who love her." John Jay, by head count, is by no means small, but it also aspires to other kinds of largeness. In the research ambitions of its professors, in the teaching endeavors of its faculty, and in the inspiring dreams of its students, it has the potential to become as large in the eyes of American education as its mother university will allow it to become. And so, in closing, I say, remember us, respect us, take pride in us. Give us the funding and support that we require and deserve, and you will continue to witness a glorious miracle on 59th Street. I thank you all.
We also have with us this afternoon two exceptional Queens College students. I would like to recognize natural sciences honor student Yehoshua Laker, who recently received a Goldwater scholarship. He was chosen from a highly competitive national pool of over 1,000 graduates. I would also like to recognize and congratulate Macaulay Honors College at Queens College student Joseph Hirsch, who has received a graduate fellowship from the National Science Foundation, a very meaningful fellowship which will provide support of over $120,000 toward his graduate work. They are both with us today at our invitation, so we could express our congratulations to them on their achievements. May I call on President Meiskens first for a brief introduction?
Thank you, Chairman Smith, Chancellor Goldstein, distinguished members of the board. It's certainly a great pleasure for the third year in a row to have the honor of presenting to you a Queens College student who has won the prestigious Goldwater Scholarship. These are for students intending to have careers in the sciences. Mr. Laker is a biology English major and a math and natural sciences honors student. To say that Yehoshua maintains a full schedule would be an understatement. In the mornings, he studies Talmud at the Yeshiva B'nai Torah near his home in Far Rockaway. He spends afternoons tackling a heavy pre-med course load at Queens College, where he conducts research in cancer, very important research. He also writes a technology column and copy edits for the student newspaper, and best of all, he's a member of the track team. For the last 3 semesters, Yehoshua has worked in the cell biology research laboratory of Professor Carl Fath and cancer research lab of biochemistry, Professor Wilma Safran. I'm delighted that he was able to be here today and that you have a chance to meet him. Mr. Laker.
Thank you, President Meiskens, for your introduction. Chairman Schmidt, Chancellor Goldstein, members of the board, I truly appreciate this opportunity to be here today. In Queens College, I have had so many amazing professors with just incredible minds, drives, and teaching abilities who have influenced the path I am taking. Furthermore, the terrific diversity I encounter on campus and in every single class has fundamentally changed my perspective toward the world and other people. From its wide-ranging courses and its breadth of research laboratories, to its student newspaper, pre-med club, and track team, Queens College has given me the opportunity to explore the diverse span of fields, which I love. My studies have clarified my desire for a career in science, and I am strongly interested in pursuing an MD PhD degree, which would allow me to combine a career in medicine with biology or biochemistry research. I am genuinely glad of my decision to attend Queens College, CUNY. I truly look forward each day to coming to school. Thank you very much.
Thank you. May I call on Dean Ann Kirshner to introduce Mr. Hirsch?
Thank you, Chairman Schmidt. Our National Science Foundation winner, Joseph Hirsch, is going to be getting his PhD at the CUNY Graduate Center. And while majoring in pure mathematics at Queens, he also enrolled in 10 doctoral-level math classes at the CUNY Graduate Center. As an undergraduate, he's already passed 2 out of 3 doctoral qualifying exams. He was awarded the Queens Math Department's Thomas Budney Memorial Award for the highest achieving junior, and he's working on his senior thesis, A, Infinity Algebras and the Maurer-Coran Equation, under the supervision of Professor John Turilla. He's been teaching his fellow mathematicians at Brown University's undergraduate math symposium in his sophomore year, and at the Moduli Spaces of Curves conference at the Max Planck Institute in Bonn, Germany. But math is not Joey's only love or activity. He's worked 15 hours a week as an assistant Macaulay Technology Fellow for the past 2 semesters. He studied Mandarin while living with a host family in Beijing. That's so he could talk about mathematics in Chinese. He loves to cook, especially baking. He writes poetry, and he co-founded the Macaulay Honors College book club called the Page Turners. When we introduced Joey on a student panel last fall at the Macaulay Advisory Council, one of them said to me, now I understand what Macaulay students are all about. But actually, Joey stands alone. So it's my pleasure today to introduce you to Joseph Hirsch, Queens 08.
Let me just say a few words, Joy, before you speak. Perhaps no better tribute could be paid to CUNY than the observation that Joe made that the only limits he ever encountered in his education were his own. And those were very few, if any. He made his mark at Queens from the beginning. He decided that we needed, as a freshman, a course in an honors section in linear algebra, which we offered. It included him and 2 other students. Good for the budget. He also successfully recruited 15 students for an advanced course in algebraic topography, something we hadn't been offering at the college for some time. You'll be happy about that, Mr. Chancellor. It's a real point of pride that, as I understand it, he's turned down UC Berkeley to accept admission into the doctoral program in mathematics at our CUNY Graduate Center. Glad to have you here.
Thank you both for that very kind introduction. I was just going to speak a little bit about my time at Queens College, but I think I sort of almost have nothing left to say. But I did want to say that I'm very grateful to Queens College for allowing me to pursue my interests, by allowing me to ask for special sections of linear algebra to be offered, or many courses. You know, when I came to Queens College, I didn't intend to pursue mathematics, but after one honors course in calculus with Dr. John Turilla, I decided that I wanted to continue because it was really interesting, and we continued studying. And I took a course with him every semester and took courses with other faculty as well. And then they sort of encouraged me to take courses at the Graduate Center, and I did, and to take qualifying exams instead of final exams, which was a fair enough trade for me. And I don't think that would have been possible if I were in another university where it may have been more formulaic or something else. But Queens College sort of allowed me to do what I wanted and to keep doing it, and so I'm very grateful for that. And I thank you very much.
On another happy note, David Bauer, Macaulay Honors College at City College, class of 2009, was recently awarded a highly competitive Harry S. Truman Scholarship for 2008. David is a Triple Crown winner, having previously won the Intel First Place Science Prize and a Goldwater Scholar Award. David is currently at Oxford University doing research in DNA sequencing. But congratulations again to David Bauer. Congratulations also to the CUNY School of Law, which has again placed in the top 10 ranking in the country for the quality of its clinical offerings. This year the school ranked 4th in the nation in clinical offerings, moving up from its previous ranking of 7th. So congratulations, Dean Anderson, to you and the faculty at the law school. And in volleyball, Hunter College, ranked 14th in the nation, managed to beat Baruch College 3 straight games to win the 2008 CUNY Men's Volleyball Championship. Baruch did win 2 straight trophies in the previous 2 years, so we'll see what happens next year. Congratulations to the Hunter team. May I call on Trustee Wellington Chen to present a special resolution of appreciation?
Resolution of appreciation for Selma Botman. Where Selma Botman was appointed Executive Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs in 2004, upon recommendation of the Chancellor by the City University of New York Board of Trustees, becoming Executive Vice Chancellor and University Provost in 2006, and whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman's contributions to the university benefited from her previous experience as Vice President for Academic Affairs at the University of Massachusetts. And whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman's energy and enthusiasm propelled the Office of Academic Affairs into a broad expansion of its efforts to support the academic excellence of the university's faculty, curricula, and student learning. And whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman's commitment to the university student body motivated the creation of the Campaign for Student Success, the initiation of the city-supported accelerated study in associate programs, with its intentions to graduate community colleges students in a more timely fashion and connect them with the workforce, and the focus on building an academic culture that assumes the potential of all students to realize their academic aspirations when effectively supported by the university's faculty and staff. And whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman demonstrated deep appreciation of faculty scholarly distinction through the revision of the process for evaluating candidates for distinguished professor and the creation of distinguished lecture series that brought scholars of international renown to the university. And whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman guided strategic cluster hiring initiatives in United States history and demographic that brought new talent and disciplinary strength to the university, the creation of a new university School of Public Health at Hunter College, and the establishment of a new MA in Middle Eastern Studies at the Graduate Center. And whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman committed to the university to a profound reconsideration of teacher education and the essential role of the university in supporting the public schools of New York City, that resulted in the creation of Teacher Academy. And whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman guided the creation of the university's first online degree program within the School of Professional Studies and stimulated a rethinking within the Office of Academic Affairs about the function of technology in supporting academic excellence, faculty scholarship, and student learning. And whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman played a leadership role in the university's Black Male Initiative and Latino Faculty Recruitment Initiative as part of her commitment to a university that fully reflects and benefits from the rich range of human experience, history, and culture. And whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman supported and collaborated effectively within the Board of Trustees Committee on Academic Policy, Program, and Research, and whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman worked tirelessly to promote the academic quality and reputation of the university across the national landscape of urban higher education. And whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman fostered a uniquely collaborative decision-making style within the Office of Academic Affairs and college provosts and student affairs professionals in order to achieve academic outcomes benefiting a major university. And whereas Executive Vice Chancellor Botman supported and advocated for the intellectual capital of the university's faculty and the academic advancement of its student learners, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York expresses its heartfelt appreciation to Selma Botman for her exemplary dedication and service as Executive Vice Chancellor and University Provost.
I want to offer a standing ovation.
I'll second the motion. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much.
I will only say very briefly that I came to the university because I believed in the mission of the City University of New York. And over the course of 4 years, I've really become hooked on this mission. The university has a treasure trove of faculty, and we see John Madison here before us, and some of the most wonderful students that any university could have. I've enjoyed working with all of you, and I appreciate your kind words, and I'll miss you all. Thank you.
May I call on Trustee Rita DiMartino to announce college and faculty honors?
The Princeton Review has selected Baruch College as one of the nation's best institutions for undergraduate education in the top 10% for inclusion in the forthcoming publication of its popular annual The Best 368 Colleges 2009 edition guidebook. Congratulations. Queensborough Community College's Department of Chemistry won the Stanley Israel Regional Award for advancing diversity in the chemical sciences. Congratulations. Dr. Robert R. Alfano, Distinguished Professor of Science and Engineering at the City College, has been named the 2008 recipient of the Optical Society of America's Charles Hard Towns Award for his discovery of and work on the supercontinuum, an ultra-fast white light source produced by passing ultra-fast laser pulses through matter. Congratulations. Dr. Sheldon Weinbaum, Distinguished Research Professor of Biomedical and Mechanical Engineering in the Grove School of Engineering at the City College, received the 2008 Davies Medal, the highest honor given to an engineering alumnus by Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, his alma mater. Congratulations. Hunter College Distinguished Professor of English, Mina Alexander, and Adjunct Dance Program Lecturer, Vicky Schick, were both awarded Guggenheim Fellowships. Hunter Assistant Professor of History, Daniel Horowitz, won the Herbert Hoover Presidential Library Award for Best Book on 20th Century American History, published in 2007, and Hunter Associate Professor of Art received a prestigious curatorial award from the Guggenheim Museum. Congratulations to all. Hillary Gardner, LaGuardia Community College Program Coordinator and Instructor at the college's Center for Immigrant Education Training, was one of 4 honorees of the 2008 New York Times English for Speakers of Other Languages Teacher of the Year program. Also, LaGuardia Adjunct Assistant Professor Rachel B. Ewens was granted a 2008 Guggenheim Fellowship. Congratulations. Kingsborough Community College Physical Sciences Professor Varator Reddy and students Misbah Howard and Mikti Millian were selected to participate in Brookhaven National Laboratory's highly selective faculty and student teams Summer 2008 research program. Kingsborough professor Harold Connolly, Jr., was a member of a team of scientists who identified 3 asteroids that appear to be our solar system's oldest objects. Congratulations to all. That concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I'd like to call now on Trustee Kathleen Pasilli to announce student and alumni honors.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bronx Community College graduating senior Kojo Wallace was named a 2008 All-USA First Academic Team Member by Phi Theta Kappa, the International Honor Society for 2-year colleges. Congratulations, Kojo. 2007 York College graduate Daryl Canedo was recently selected as a 2008 Charles B. Wrangell International Affairs Fellow. The York College student newspaper, Pandora's Box, won the American Scholastic Press Association Award. In first place with special merit, this is the highest classification only, with papers that are near perfect scores get the highest designation. Congratulations to all. Macaulay Honors College at Queens College student Ahuva Jacobowitz was selected a 2008 New York City Urban Fellow, and Macaulay Honors College at Queens College student Alum Priya Surinam was awarded a 2008 Fellow Fulbright Scholarship. Congratulations. Hunter College doctoral student Nurazat Nuraji received a competitive 2008 Materials Research Society Graduate Student Award. Hunter students Margaret Park and Alex Rodriguez each received Fulbright grants. School of Social Work senior Alexandra Smith won a Soros Justice Advocate Fellowship. Hunter alumna Natalia Binstein was awarded a 2008 Merge American Dream Fellowship. Alumna Misty Chanel Blott received a graduate National Science Foundation Fellowship. Last but not least, the Hunter College Model UN team came away with the most prizes, 9 awards, at a recent CUNY Model UN competition. Congratulations to each of you. City College chemistry student Maggie He received the National Merrick Index Recognition Award and will present a poster at the Merrick Index Women in Chemistry poster session in August 2008, Meg. Congratulations, Maggie. Queensborough Community College students presented their research and won awards at the 16th Annual Statewide College Science and Technology Entry Program. They are Zing Augustin Baez, Christina Toro, Ariel Kamenov, Jinyi Wang. Congratulations. And 5 Baruch College MBA students won first prize at the Executive Leadership Council 2008 National Business Case Competition, beating teams from 35 other schools, including the University of Michigan. And Baruch College senior Carlos Macias, a double major in business journalism and history, won a $4,000 scholarship from the Donald W. Reynolds National Center for Business Journalism. Congratulations. Queens College geology major Andrea Balbas received a fellowship in the Minorities Striving and Pursuing Higher Degrees of Success in Earth Science Professional Development Program. She was also selected as Research Associate for the Summer 2008 NASA Academy at Goddard Space Flight Center. That is fantastic. Congratulations. College of Staten Island freshman swimmer Pavel Boyanov won national titles in 100 and 200-yard breaststroke at the NCAA championships last month. This is the first national title in CSI history. Congratulations. That concludes
A list of grants and gifts received by the university since our February 25th, 2008 meeting is available on the table and in your trustees' calendar book. I'd like now to call on Chancellor Goldstein to present his report on recent activities.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me begin by briefly talking about the capital budget and the operating budget that was approved recently in Albany. Starting on the capital budget, we've received in excess of $1.8 billion for 1 year of funding. Originally, when the capital budget was under discussion, there was a view that both SUNY and CUNY's capital budget would be a 5-year horizon. But as time went by, the view changed. So this is a very large 1-year capital budget for us and will allow us to maintain the needs of an aging system, and it gives us significant momentum to continue our modernization program. While the number of projects is rather extensive, I would like to just mention a few that will have what I would say, a transforming effect on the life of this university. On the City College campus, all of the board knows that we very strenuously advanced the idea of an advanced science research center. And we have funding fully for phase 1 of that very important project. Remember that project is going to be very close to where the Structural Biology Center is, which is a consortium of some of the leading universities in New York State doing very, very important and cutting-edge research. So there will be this collaboration. And of course, Columbia University is moving incrementally uptown, and much of their new facilities are going to be around some of the activities that we envisage for the advanced science research centers. So I see over time a synergism among those institutions that will not only benefit the life of science in this city, but certainly will work to advance some of the extraordinary events that are happening, especially in the life sciences now in the United States and elsewhere. 17 Lexington Avenue at part of Baruch College, which is the original home, the original site of the City College, which started, as you know, in 1847, started on that site at 23rd Street and Lexington Avenue, and we have funding to do a complete renovation of that building, and I think that is long overdue, and we're very pleased to be able to do that. At Brooklyn College, Roosevelt Hall, which is going to be a new facility, a new imagined facility for science, both for undergraduate education, but also advanced graduate work is funded to allow us to move forward, and certainly the West Quad and Performing Arts Center at Brooklyn College also will have important effects on that institution. City College's new science facility, its School of Architecture renovation, the Marshak building rehabilitation, all part of this executive budget. There will be a new school, a new building for the CUNY Law School that we have funded in this particular budget, a new science lab building for Hunter College, Center for Computational Science at College of Staten Island, added funds for the North Instructional Building at Bronx Community College, wonderful new athletic facilities for Kingsborough Community College, the building expansion program at John Jay, and I can go on and on and on. So with the amount of money that's in the pipeline now from prior capital budgets and this additional $1.8 billion we are going to be expending over the next 4 to 5 years, several billions of dollars in new and renovations of facilities. So we're really very excited about that. The numbers sound high, but I must remind all of you that we still have enormous needs that will not be met even with this very fine capital budget. One outstanding issue involves the need for additional funding of critical maintenance at the community colleges, and that's going to need continuing coordination with CUNY in order to move this area forward. They have similar needs at their community colleges, and we're going to have to work with CUNY. And as I've said to the board on several occasions, I believe that as we move forward, there really needs to be a coordination with the State University of New York. By bringing these two important systems together, I think we have momentum and strength that we have not realized before, and we really have to, I believe, build on that kind of cooperative spirit. On the operating side, for the senior colleges, we have an adopted budget of a little under $1.7 billion. That represents an increase of about $37 million over the current budget that we are spending down. The increase is largely around $52 million in funding for the university's mandatory needs and some smaller programs, but also this is offset by about a $17.7 million reduction. I've given guidance to Vice Chancellor Malave and our Senior Vice Chancellor Alan Dobrin and the presidents that as we look to par down to this $17.7 million level, that certain values and certain operating principles, I think, need to be developed, and that is first and foremost to ensure that the core needs of our campuses are left untouched, that we do not want to move aggressively at all, and we want to preserve those core operating needs so that we will be using reserves that we have worked very hard to develop to deal with shortfalls like this. We are going to be managing our enrollment in ways that will allow us to work towards that number as well. And we will be certainly looking at certain overall programs that we provide centrally to the campuses, and that involves a whole variety from academic areas to administrative functions, security, all of the areas that we need to participate. I remind you that we had two budget reductions. One was a 2.5% reduction that was originally proposed when the executive budget was advanced to the legislature, and then on top of that, an additional 3.5% reduction. This $17.7 million is largely that second area of 3.5% reduction. For the community colleges, the executive budget recommended a base aid reduction of $50 per FT student, but that was restored in the adopted budget, and additional funding over the executive budget was provided for SEEK, College Discovery, the Joseph S. Murphy Institute for Worker Education and Labor Studies, and other legislative initiatives were restored. I remind you that after the executive budget was released, there was a very small amount of money, approximately $90 million, that was given to the legislature to be allocated through the Joint Committee on Higher Education by both Senator Laval and Assemblywoman Deborah Glick. So this sharply reduced the amount of legislative add-ons. So it just reinforces that we need to work very aggressively on a forward-going basis to ensure that the monies that this university and the State University needs to not only stay afloat, but to advance the goals of both of these great systems. I was delighted to see in the language, the appropriation language, that there is language to develop an endowment specifically for both CUNY and SUNY. The language is very artfully written and interesting in that there is efforts in this language to anticipate not only the initial fueling of an endowment, the vehicle for that fueling is still not developed, but there are many people from the investment banking community, and we are participating in that discussion to determine ways in which that initial endowment could be created, but that additional funds through private sources and other state-supported sources are envisaged for moving that forward. So we're going to watch that, obviously, very, very carefully, and certainly be part of the discussion to shape that important effort. I would temper some of these remarks by saying that all of you obviously know that starting about a year ago, really at about this time, many of us started to see events unfolding, not only both here in New York State and the city, but nationally. And we started hearing things about a credit crunch and things like mortgage-backed securities and collateralized debt obligations, and started to hear about very esoteric financial instruments that went sour. And obviously, in the last year, all of us have seen the dramatic impact that this has had, not only in this city, somewhat exacerbated in the city, because about 20 cents on every dollar that is collected for revenue to support general obligations in New York State is a result of not only Wall Street, but all of the associated businesses associated with Wall Street, has really had a very, very chilling effect. I do not believe that the budget that was enacted is going to hold on a going forward basis. We already are having some discussions about some adjustments to that budget, and it may not be the first iteration of some further adjustments. Revenue has been down very, very sharply in New York State, especially in the first quarter of this fiscal year, and I think there are some very, very choppy waters that we are going to have to navigate along with certainly other agencies in New York State, and probably it's going to go on for some time. So we have to be prepared not only to deal with the immediacy of a budget that is going to have to be very artfully managed, but to start thinking very, very clearly and comprehensively about how to prepare ourselves for the budget that will start to be developed over the summer and then presented to the state legislature by Governor Patterson in January of 2009. I have had some very direct and intense discussions with Governor Patterson. The chairman and I have had some very good discussions with Secretary Charles O'Byrne, and we will be meeting again with Governor Patterson to better prepare ourselves as we move forward. So we have a lot of work yet to do, but the presidents have been given opportunities to start thinking creatively about some modest investment this year. I mean, I am one that deeply believes that even in downturn times, you need to continue to make investments. A university of this prominence and this size cannot be deterred from making strategic investments because otherwise we're just not going to be the kind of institution that we need to be. I have had, on the city side, I had a long conversation this morning with Mayor Bloomberg about the community college budgets and our capital budgets. That was preceded by a very thorough letter that I wrote to him about a week ago. And so this conversation took place this morning, and while no promises were made, the mayor was made much more aware of some of the critical needs that the university has, and I hope that as a result of that we will be moving in a direction where better understanding of the particular programs and especially capital needs of our community colleges will be better understood. Again, I want to, Trustee Schmidt mentioned Trustee Pasili's wonderful remarks at the 20th anniversary of the CUNY Big Apple Job Fair, but we also had at that event City Council Finance Chairman David Wepburn, and we spent some time with Councilman Wepburn talking about community colleges, and I think he understands it, and hopefully we will be moving forward over the next several weeks, which are going to be critical weeks. The mayor very, very soon will be presenting the budget to the City Council, and we want to make sure that before it gets the legislative go-over that we have an opportunity to help influence what the mayor will be presenting. Over the last weekend, the Model Senate, the 12th Annual Model Senate, was run in Albany. This is something that Jay Hershenson has really taken wonderful ownership to. Trustees Hugo Morales, Rita DiMartino, Manfred Phillip, and Robert Ramos were there to represent the university. Number of presidents were there as well. State Controller Tom DiNapoli and many legislatures were in attendance. Controller DiNapoli was surprised with an award that he was given and spent the entire lunch with everybody in attendance. And Governor Patterson opened the Model Senate with greetings. The 6th Citizenship Now program, which is a joint program with the Daily News, started today. It will go on for the entire week. Jay Hershenson's is the man who thought of this effort. And again, Jay, thank you for helping over 40,000 people since this program began. We have many people manning the phones that speak languages other than English, and really the work that is being done at that Citizen Now facility is really quite extraordinary and really helping to shape lives in ways that none of us ever imagined. Congratulations to President Gregory Williams, who successfully brought in 2 $10 million gifts. They were just one with Scatamarps, Slate, Mager, and Flom. Joe Flom is a very distinguished and graduate of City College, went to Harvard Law School, has deep affection for President Williams, and really has provided a wonderful opportunity with this $10 million gift to increase diversities in law schools around the United States and in the legal profession. and the other $10 million gift from alumnus Mickey Ross to establish a Jewish Studies Center at City College. So congratulations, Greg. That was wonderful. Congratulations to President Regina Peruggi. Where is Regina? There she is, for her appointment to the Commission on Lifelong Learning of the American Council on Education. Congratulations to President Marcia Keyes on her appointment to the Board of the American Council on Education's Commission on Effective Leadership. Congratulations to President Dolores Fernandez, who received the Duarte Heritage Award from Casa Duarte Cultural and Performing Arts Center and the Northern Manhattan Coalition for Economic Development. Both Vice Chancellor Weinschall and President Gail Mello were honored recently by the League of Women Voters. They both spoke eloquently, and we were all just so proud to be there with them. Congratulations to President Eduardo Marti, who will be honored by the Vision Services for the Blind at a luncheon on Wednesday at Terrace on the Park. And lastly, to Jay Hershenson, who will receive a leadership award from Aspira of New York at their annual Circle of Latino Achievers Luncheon in recognition of his support of Latino youth in New York City. So congratulations to all of you. I would end by saying that we have a new program called CUNY Summer in the City. We have established an integrated website and marketing campaign to communicate information about summer study and activities at all CUNY colleges. This will help students earn more credits, which will then result in greater retention, and it will also then result in even higher graduation rates. The mastermind behind this, again, is our own Jay Hershenson. He has developed a 60-second PSA, I am told. And Jay, you want to show it now? Is that?
Yes, I would like to point out that Dwayne Ferguson of CUNY TV, who's here with Bob Isaacson, Dwayne is the cameraman, straight ahead. He is the star of the PSA, and we are ready to go.
Wait 1 second, Jay, so that I don't have to come back afterwards. Let me just mention two additional things. We have asked for an executive session, as Chairman Schmidt has required, to talk about some personnel matters, a potential real estate transaction, and collective bargaining briefing. And lastly, I just want to remind all of you that we will give Selma Botman a grand party on May 5th at Bayards from 6 to 8. And that completes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Let's see this message. Quiet, please. We're gonna. All right. If you can't be quiet, we're going to have to ask you to leave. Okay, please escort the noisemakers out of the room. All right, let's get back to work. Let's put it on. Put it on, Bob, and give us some volume.
swimming, tennis, a CUNY summer in the city. All 23 campuses of the City University of New York together offer thousands of educational and leisure time classes with schedules to fit your summertime plan. There's something for everyone in every borough. Build new skills or express yourself with classes in the arts. When the kids say there's nothing to do, sign on for day camp. There's even a Game Builders Academy where industry professionals help you design your own video games. And when I'm done relaxing on Owl Beach, I can take academic courses for credit that count towards my degree. Enjoy a CUNY summer in the city. Wish you were here. Visit us online at cuny.edu/summer in the city.
I'm CUNY Chancellor Matthew Goldstein, and I approve this message. Have a great summer.
Thank you. Are there comments or questions on the Chancellor's report, Professor Phillip?
I'd like to first of all congratulate the Chancellor and his colleagues on achieving the capital budget that we've seen from the state. I was also happy to see the letter that he wrote to Mayor Bloomberg, because both on the capital side and on the operating expense side, particularly on the capital side, our community colleges really need the kind of capital infusion that we see on the senior colleges. I think I've brought this up before. The mayor and the city council ought to step up to the plate. I have testified to Charles Barron's City Council Committee on Higher Education advocating more funding for this university and particularly to the community colleges. I think that we as a group have to do more in that regard. There are enormous unmet needs. At the same time, this is not in response to the demonstration we've just seen. I would like to see, of course, a report on progress towards a conclusion of the contract negotiations. We do need that, as a matter of fact, and for this university to be healthy in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Other comments or questions? All right, we'll move on to the policy items requiring a vote. I'd like to move the adoption of the Chancellor's University Report for April 28, 2008. You have copies of this report at the table. May I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Chancellor's report carries. I'd like to move the approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of February 25th, 2008. You have a copy at section 2 of your board book. May I have a second?
Second.
Comments on the minutes, revisions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? That carries. We'll turn now to committee reports. We'll hear first from the Committee on Fiscal Affairs. Trustee Loda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Committee on Fiscal Affairs met on March 31st of this year and approved the following resolutions. Calendar item 3A, a resolution authorized the General Counsel to execute a contract on behalf of the University Controller to enter into a contract for bookbinding services. Such purchase shall not exceed an estimated cost of $905,000. The university will use this contract to provide bookbinding services throughout the CUNY campus libraries. Calendar item 3B is a resolution to authorize the General Counsel to execute a contract on behalf of the Office of the University Controller to enter into a contract for the maintenance of air management services. Such purchase shall not exceed an estimated cost of $700,000. The university will use this contract to provide these services throughout the CUNY campuses. Mr. Chairman, I move the approval and adoption of these items.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Those items carry.
In addition, Mr. Chairman, I wish to report that the Board Audit Subcommittee met with the independent audit firm of KPMG for a brief presentation on the university's fiscal year 2007 internal control management letter and on the university's fiscal year 2007 A-133 audit. The committee also heard a report, numerous reports actually, from Vice President Malave on the status of the state and city budgets. And finally, the University Controller Barry Kaufman introduced Janet Crone as the university's new Chief Investment Officer. Ms. Crone gave us a report on the performance of the university's investment portfolio. Mr. Chairman, this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll turn next to the Committee on Academic Policy, Program, and Research. May I call on Trustee Chen?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At its meeting on March 31st, the committee approved 6 policy matters. Policy items, calendar number 4A, Queensborough Community College AS in Museum Studies. This program prepares students for entry-level work in the gallery and museum field. It offers courses in administration, conservation, and curatorial work along with a foundation in art history. The program has been fully articulated with the BA program in art history at Queens College. Students will be able to take internship courses at QCC's own art gallery as well as other venues around New York. Calendar number 4B, the City College MPA in Public Service Management. This is an interdisciplinary program reaching across the fields of sociology, political science, and economics. The goal of this program is to help bring more students into public service, particularly those coming from currently underrepresented populations. Following massive retirements anticipated in the next decade, public agency will need to recruit qualified personnel to fill the vacancies. The program aims to address this need to prepare graduates for employment in local, state, or national government and affiliated NGOs in managerial, supervisory, and policy-making capacity. Calendar number 4C, Hostos Community College and John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Dual admission joint AS in Science for Forensics, BS Forensic Science. The calendar numbers C and D present the first joint dual degree proposals prepared within the framework of John Jay Partnership Initiative, which offers a successful model of collaboration between junior and senior college for the benefit of the students. Upon completion of the lower division at the junior college, students will have a seamless transition to the upper division of the baccalaureate program at John Jay, with no loss of credit. This dual joint degree will provide students with a well-defined pathway to getting a 4-year degree necessary for entry work in forensic science or for continuing on to graduate studies. Calendar number 4D, Hostos Community College and John Jay College of Criminal Justice dual admission AABA in Criminal Justice. Graduates of this program will be qualified for a wide range of entry-level positions in governmental and private agencies that require security, public safety, or law enforcement professionals. Students may select a concentration in law and due process, the police and the community, or the courts and the criminal justice system. Calendar number 4D, the John Jay College of Criminal Justice, BA in English. Designed to strengthen the humanities of offering at John Jay, the program will also advance criminal justice education more broadly by stimulating interdisciplinary curricular development and research among the humanities, social science, and criminal justice. One concentration engages the traditional texts and methodologies of literary study. The other concentration integrates the methodology of literary study with central problems and questions of the law. The program offers a coherent, innovative curriculum that stresses writing, research, and analytical skills, providing solid foundation for graduate study or law school. Calendar number 4E, the School of Professional Studies at the Graduate Center, University Center. MA in Labor Studies. The main purpose of this program is to prepare students for effective leadership in the labor movement, to give those in labor-related fields specialized knowledge needed for advancing their careers, and to provide opportunity for advanced scholarship in the field of labor. Mr. Chairman, I move those items for approval.
All right, you have the motion. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there questions for the committee on any of these items? Trustee Morales.
I fully support the program in forensic science, and I congratulate President Dolores Fernandez and President Travis. As a forensic psychiatrist, I know how important it is presently and in the future, all related to forensic science. I think it's an outstanding program, and only hope that members of our Hispanic community will be participating in this program.
Thank you very much. Professor Phillip.
Thank you, Chairman Schmidt. I'd like to, in particular, express my support for the BA in English at John Jay College. It's remarkable that we had a college without an English baccalaureate program. and that's a deficiency that is now corrected. At the same time, the movement of associate degree programs to other community colleges underlines the need for more seats at community colleges, something that I'm sure that Chancellor Goldstein and others will be looking at into the future. Thank you.
I just want to say very briefly, President Schmidt and Chairman Schmidt and members of the board, that I think a very poor decision was made 31 years ago when John Jay was forced to extract from its inventory of academic programs a number of humanities programs. When Jeremy Travis and I talked initially about Jeremy coming to John Jay College, I indicated that I thought that action should be redressed, that if John Jay were to aspire to be the wonderful institution that it's well on its way to becoming, that it really needs to have a more broad-based set of academic offerings. So I want to congratulate President Travis and Jane Bowers, their new provost, and especially the faculty in the humanities at John Jay, who have wailed for years about this. John Madison spoke very eloquently about the need for this, and we very, very strongly support it. So, Jeremy, I just want to congratulate you on your leadership in moving this forward, and to congratulate the faculty for working so cooperatively with the administration. And this is just iteration one of a series of new academic programs that I think will have, it's a tired phrase, but I'll use it anyway, a paradigm shift of how we think of John Jay and what it will become in the future.
Are there comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Those carry.
Information items. Executive Vice Chancellor Barman also presented one information item to the committee, an update on the college's response to the 2008-2012 master plan, and the college response has been provided. That concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. We'll turn next to the Committee on Faculty, Staff, and Administration. May I call on Trustee DiMartino?
Thank you. Mr. Chair, the Committee on Faculty, Staff, and Administration met on Monday, March 31st, to consider the following items, which we now present for consideration by the Board of Trustees. Items 5A through 5U are a series of resolutions naming various facilities and spaces at Queens College that have been submitted to ensure compliance with university policy. The Board Committee on Faculty, Staff, and Administration has reviewed and recommends these items, copies of which are in your packets. And they are items 5A through 5U. Mr. Chair, I present these items 5A through 5U for the Board's approval.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on these items that you have in your book? Not all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Those items carry.
Also, items 5B through 5Z and 5AA through 5CC are a series of resolutions naming various spaces and items located at the Kupferberg Holocaust Resource Center and Archives at Queensborough Community College, which have also been submitted to ensure compliance with university policy. The Board Committee on Faculty, Staff, and Administration has reviewed these items, copies of which are also in your packets, and recommends them for the Board's approval.
Thank you. May I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Those items carry.
Let me see. And I believe we have one more? Or? Oh, that's it. Okay.
No, 5CC.
Oh, yes, there are more. Item 5CC?
Yep.
Yes. I present this for the board's approval.
I'll second that. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions?
The next one is item 5DD for the board's approval.
Second. Favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstentions?
Item 5EE, amendment to the governance plan of the Graduate School and University Center.
Second. Any discussion on this? Favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions?
And
Carried.
also, Mr. Chair, I present item 5EE for the board's approval.
Second.
There is one more, and that's item 5FF, amendments to the governance plan of LaGuardia Community College. And I present item 5FF for the board's approval.
Second. We'll take those up. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions?
This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I call on the trustee Pacilli to present for the Committee on Student Affairs and Special Programs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will present the report on calendar item 6A, followed by a brief update on Vice Chancellor Moore's report presented at the March 31st, 2008 Committee on Student Affairs and Special Programs meeting. The Committee on Student Affairs and Special Programs has one item for the Board's approval. The committee met on March 31st, 2008, and approved the following calendar item. Calendar item 6A, the College of Staten Island. Amendments to the Certificate of Incorporation and bylaws of the College of Staten Island Auxiliary Services Corporation, Incorporated. The College of Staten Island Auxiliary Services Corporation, Inc. seeks board approval of proposed amendments to its Certificate of Incorporation and bylaws. These amendments clarify that the auxiliary is authorized to provide services and facilities at or near the college, not only to the students, faculty, and staff of the college, but also to other members of the CUNY community who utilize these services and facilities. The amendments also change the manner of electing faculty members to the Auxiliary Board of Directors by providing that the two faculty members appointed by the college president to the board will be chosen from a panel of 4 faculty members elected by the faculty. In accordance with Board Bylaw Section 16.10, the amended bylaws have been approved by the College of Staten Island President and reviewed by the University Office of General Counsel. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report on calendar item 6A.
May I have a second on 6A? Second. Any discussion, questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstentions? That carries.
Now, Mr. Chairman, I would like to report that at the March 31st, 2008 Committee on Student Affairs and Special Programs meeting, Vice Chancellor Moore gave a comprehensive report on the status of the CUNY Leadership Academy, the co-curricular transcript, and the Wall Street Stock Market Game Fellows Program. Over the past month, student leaders have represented CUNY locally and nationally at several conferences, including the Emerging Leaders Conference, the National Conference on Student Leadership held in Orlando, Florida, Empowering Student Changing Lives Leadership Conference held at the College of Staten Island, and the Women's Conference held at Baruch College. He also updated the committee on the establishment of the Student Investment Ambassadors Program, which was formed in conjunction with Senior Vice Chancellor Jay Hershenson. This new program was established to develop students into informed communicators who can effectively carry forward messages on the importance of state and city support for a new and enhanced investment in public higher education. Vice Chancellor Moore also presented 2 short video clips, one featuring the students at the conference in Orlando and the other focusing on the Clinical Psychology Fellows Program. He also mentioned the recently concluded National Association of Student Personnel Administrators conference and stated that there was a strong CUNY presence, with over 50 members of the CUNY family attended the conference. Presenters or committee members at this national conference included President Tomas Morales, the College of Staten Island, Dr. Marie Ting, Central Office, Dr. Joseph Bertolino, Queens College, Dr. Peter Jordan, LaGuardia Community College, Alan Wernick, Baruch College, and Vice Chancellor Gary Moore. In fact, this year, CUNY hosted its first ever reception at a National Student Affairs Conference. And I personally want to thank the presenters for attending. Mr. Chairman, this concludes my report, finally.
Thank you very much. I'd like to move the adoption of the honorary degrees that you see presented in Section 7 of your board book. May I have a second? Second. Discussion on any of those degrees? All